Oh boy. Oh, fun times coming up this time. We got, I knew I had it too good because I was playing some Diddy Kong Racing. I had played San Francisco Rush. Now it's time to play something that the time that I played it was probably one of the lamest racing games on this system, with over 50 racing games on it. And of course, I had this. I saw this come in the store the other day, and I was just like, "Oh well, I'm gonna grab this fake case." And now I have a fake case for just one of my favorite games. It's one of my favorite games on the system, and any pertinent material, I always grab that. And I'm still got this one, December '97. It's got a few things in there. The most helpful thing that was in here, it told me how the pit stops work. So that's a thing that's in there. It's like 6 pages in this Nintendo Power, because it's like fucking nothing. So here's the deal with this game. I know a little bit about it. Yeah. So this game's called Automobili Lamborghini, and it's made by Titus. Now, I used to say, when I just started getting into this, the whole 64, I was gearing up, getting to my, my full set and everything like that, and my motivation when it started out, playing all these games was, you know what? Really? I would say, well, when you think about it, out of the 296 games that are on this system, US, how many of the games are really that bad? Because there's not a lot of shovelware. There's really nothing, things weren't really hastily made. Companies put work into things. Sometimes they really they were very misguided and everything like that. I fit the whole thing great. It was pretty misguided and everything, but overall, most of the games, this is what I used to say. What I used to say was that if you take away all the games that are made by Titus, you're left with a really consistent library of games. And that's still like 285 games, 288 games or something like that. Now, I've changed my tune on that a bit, because what I say now is more in line with what the author of the N64 anthology says, which is that it's a console of extremes. There are some really good games, some absolutely fantastic games on the system. There are also some really, really bad games. And, kind of being on my way, I've played some really bad fighting games. I have that thing, there's no fighting games, there's no RPGs. The RPGs that they have are really bad on here. All that. Think about what I still used to say, though. If you take away all the games that are made by Titus. So this is the first game that Titus made for the system. You may know them better from the fact that they made Superman 64. They're a French company that made a lot of games in the 90s, starting on the NES in the early 90s, and then all the way up through the Super Nintendo, where they had made a game, well, Super Nintendo and a couple other systems, they had made a game called Lamborghini American Challenge. And it's as spectacular as it sounds, and about as spectacular as this game. It's just nothing special from what I've heard. Not a whole lot going on there, but they carry on. They carry on, and they consider themselves a Nintendo brand, basically. And they've got a couple licenses up their sleeves, and one of them is Lamborghini. And they make this game. This is their first effort on the N64. And they, it kills me to do it, but give them credit. They tried to take advantage of some of those features that the N64 had. They have 4-person multiplayer, which, it had been done already, but some racing games didn't do that. So, credit there, I guess. They tried to make an arcade-style game with supercars, which is what we're playing right now. they had the Lamborghini license, right? God. It's just a mess of a game, really, because there's nothing... it's an arcadey style game, that's like I said. They had the Lamborghini license, but like I titled this video, I titled it Driving Yourself into a Corner. And that's kind of what you do when you name a game after Lamborghini. You notice when I was trying to pick my car at the beginning, I had the choice of 6 vehicles, 2 actually different vehicles, in 3 different paint schemes. Those are both Lamborghinis. They're the Diablo and the whatever the fuck the other one is. Probably the one I'm driving right now. I don't know cars that well. There are unlockable cars in this game. If you include all the unlockable cars, I think it brings the total up to 8 different models of car. When you get the full roster of cars, they are now only 25% Lamborghinis. You could have called this... I mean, there's a game on the PS2 called Supercar. You could have made it a little bit broader when you titled the game and given us something that wasn't Lamborghinis at the beginning, but, you know, there you go. There are, if you include the other stuff, they're all pretty much supercars, like some really, really nice cars. There's a Porsche, an F1 McLaren, a Bugatti, 2 Ferraris, and a Dodge Viper. I might be missing one. How many did I do? But yeah, that's there you go. That's the full roster of cars by the time you've unlocked them all. But it's not as if, you know, you're watching me play this right now. You notice that it just snaps back and forth with these turns. I mean, that's the e-brake right there, and that's about all you have. I mean, you can pick automatic or manual. I never do manual. Shift, and I know that that's not a purist thing, but you know, it's kind of the deal. And I'm gonna get timed out of this fucking race. Oh my god, they do the same thing as in San Francisco Rush. If you drift across the line for the checkpoint, you still get it after your time expires. It's ridiculous. Not that I'm gonna be able to keep up with it for this one, but here it be. Go. Nope. So that's a little bit of Automobili Lamborghini, and you know, you can act like there's shit to be learned about it, but I've never gotten that impression from this game when I've played it before. Say I'm not going into it with an open mind, but I've played this game before. I don't understand what this game was going for. It's kind of like, from what I've seen, it's kind of like MRC. It can't really make up its mind. Titus couldn't really make up their minds when they were making this game, and so no, I don't want that. You know what? Let's do this. Let's try and get into do a pit stop. It seems like a very Titus game to me. There's a bunch of ideas, and they think that they can do everything, and they tell Nintendo Power that they're gonna do everything, and they're gonna do all this. They're gonna make a really cool sim with real supercars, and you're gonna have pit stops and you know, feel what it's like to put your car into the pit and can work with the pit crew, which is the whole thing about the pit stops. And it's all so half-assed. It's the thing that's always seemed to me about Titus is that you can say that it's there, but who really cares? Because you didn't really do anything with it. And I know I keep hammering away at this game, and how much I don't care for it, but yeah, it's just, oh fuck. And here's a pit stop. Alright. And, okay, so I'm fueled up. And, look at that! That's how you do the wheels. Foreshadowing. You do the fucking wheels. You replace the tires with the Mario Party stick spinning. Now, of course, nobody would have noticed that it fucked up your controller because you only had to do it a couple times. But my point still stands that even before, 2 years before Mario Party, they were doing the most evil thing you can do to the Nintendo 64 controller. Something that still gives me anxiety when I think about playing that game. Is, holy shit, what am I going to do about my controllers when I play Mario Party? Well, I've already shown you how. I would say I do it pretty gingerly. And I think the most likely thing that's going to happen when I play Mario Party is I'm going to not care if I lose those games. However, I do have something coming. This will be the first anyone hears about it. I'm really, really... Yeah, Mike's here watching. He's going to pick up a crap controller to play Mario Party, and I totally get that. My thing that I'm thinking about doing, I told Mike about this, because I've gotten really good at... I've tried to get really good and do it quickly, replacing the joysticks in the N64 controllers. Now, I do not want the replacement joysticks in any of my controllers, these style ones right here, with the small one. However, I can get my hands on some GameCube style ones. Whether or not they have the rubber on it is not that big of a deal to me. But supposedly they have, they're a little bit better for that stick rotating stuff that goes on in some of these games. You know, it's a little bit looser. It's not as precise as this can be most of the time, but for that purpose. And what I'm going to do, I have my gray controller. This is just going to be me wrapping things up, telling people what's going on and something completely unrelated. But I have my gray controller, I have my purple controller. They have dead-ass tight sticks. And I love it, and that's why I use this one. And I'm going to get my hands on 2 GameCube-style replacement joysticks. And I'm going to put those 2 into the gray and the purple. Atomic purple. Because those are the least, the easiest controllers to replace, basically. And I'm going to take the really tight sticks that are in the gray and the atomic purple, and I'm going to put those, which are original sticks, into my gold and my Diehawks controllers, because those are the only 2 controllers I have that don't have incredibly tight sticks, and they're the most important controllers to me. So it really sucks. I wouldn't want to replace them with fake ones, with reproduction ones, but I have these ones, and I can replace this controller very easily. So that's a plan, a thing that I'm gonna show off whenever I get that done over the next couple weeks, couple months, whatever it happens. But you've seen the beginnings of Automobili Lamborghini, a racing game that is outdone by about 40 other racing games on this system, and so there's not a whole lot to do. So I'm gonna you know, hammer away at it like I always do and try and figure out something else to show you and find other things. But you know, other than showing you the other cars, there's not that much about this game. So I've already kind of played it. Oh, the Lamborghinis. You gotta play with the Lamborghinis and the fucking shit. But yeah. Yeah. Alright. That was a thing. So long, everybody.